Hey, I'm Matt Moss, Perth World Supercross in the books. A eventful weekend, but how was it from your point of view?
Yeah, the first night, done everything I can to get in the super final, which would give me good points for the overall, and I did do that. And WSX, I don't know, something went on, and yeah, I missed that spot. But today, I didn't ride like myself. I don't know, I've been struggling a little bit, and I've got to find it before Melbourne. It's just, it's not quite good enough. It's, I'm struggling a little bit, but we'll try and rebound for Melbourne. But glad to come out of here injury-free. There's been a lot of crashes and a lot of people hurt, so yeah, I'm happy with that, and we'll just kick on for Melbourne.
That the super final last night, so you went down there to, the team obviously understood that you were in it, and then yeah, you just couldn't get out on track. At least it took them some time to solve it, but by then the race was going.
Yeah, well, it's what happened is they only added the first two races together with Super Pole, which at that point I was in 9th, and then after the third race I was in 8th. So yeah, it's just a incident by them, a mistake by them, but it's very costly for me. But no excuses for today not getting in. So yeah, I did everything I can. I went to the line ready to go, but it is what it is. Yeah, I gotta do something this week and try and get myself going again.
Hey, how's World Supercross compare to Australia? You're obviously doing one series and then the next, and the depth here seems pretty good. There's obviously the 2 or 3 front guys, but that's a real scrap, and you were kind of right there at stages during this weekend.
Yeah, I was. Stages I rode good, for 3 laps, and then I'd jump off the track and make mistakes. But obviously Eli Tomac's just an absolute beast, and the gap he had on Roxon was just phenomenal. So it would be hard pressed for anyone to beat him at the moment. But other than that, we're all pretty close. It's just yeah, I wasn't there this weekend.
Is it a comfort thing? Do you, at this point of your career, are you still learning, taking a lot out of each weekend, or how do you kind of look for that improvement from week to week?
At the moment, I think it's a mental. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. As you said, there's glimpses where I ride well and I feel like my old self, and then it's halfway through, it just goes out the door, and I don't know. I think it's a mental thing at the moment. So I'll go home and try and talk to some people and try and figure out what's going on, and then come out swinging for Melbourne. But I think I'd like to thank my mechanic and everyone that puts in so much work, Dakar and the guys. It's just not good enough for my bar.
Hey, thank you. We'll see you at the next one.
Thank you.
Hey, Luke Clout, World Supercross weekend, the Australian GP this time in Perth. So how was it for you? There were stages throughout this weekend where you're right up there, top 4, top 3, yeah, knocking on the door. So satisfied? How do you feel?
Yeah, definitely satisfied. Big step from the first round. And to come here, to have that little bit of confidence behind your back with being in Australia was really beneficial for me. But it also helped me realise that I'm, on these guys' level. So, a little bit of work to do, obviously, to the top guys, but to be fighting in 3rd and 4th, and I'm pretty content with that. It's always a new experience for me every weekend, because I'm hopping on a bike that is really completely different to what I'm racing at home. And to be honest, I'm still not 100% comfortable. We made a lot of changes throughout the weekend, got myself, better, but I wouldn't say that I'm anywhere near comfortable like I am at home. So overall, pretty satisfied.
Yeah, so the bikes, the equipment you're on, they are quite a bit different from, OzX to WSX.
Yeah, so basically, where was the first round? I'm having a mind blank here.
Vancouver.
Vancouver, there we go. Yep. That was the first time on the bike. Completely different suspension setting that I'd never ridden, engine, everything. So, and then obviously this weekend was the second time I'm on it, and yeah, we've just been making changes all weekend to get me comfortable with the suspension. But yeah, we're a little bit out. I think it's a little bit soft, and I'm struggling a little bit in that. But I'm kind of just doing the best with what I've got. I'm really grateful with the team. They've been awesome, and yeah, really thankful. And I'm happy I can repay them. We had a good weekend this weekend. I think we've moved up quite a few points, and yeah, looking forward to Abu Dhabi.
a lot of racing in World Supercross, especially double header rounds.
Yeah.
What would you say was the, you know, is there a highlight, a high point for you across this weekend, or kind of all blends?
Honestly, the highlight was probably finishing that last race just then. like I woke up this morning, I was pretty beat. I was pretty sore. You know, we had 3 15-minute practice sessions yesterday, and 3 8-lappers, and then 12-lapper, and it's pretty much back to back. So it's really intense, and yeah, it was a lot of riding. And honestly, the first probably moto or two, I felt pretty flat today. And even the third one, I was riding good, but just wasn't getting out of the gate. Then the super final, I kind of woke up a little bit and I started riding really well. So all new for me. Double headers are pretty gnarly, a lot of laps. But yeah, good leading into Melbourne next weekend.
High hopes going into WSX Open. It's obviously another big one on the schedule. Also important for the domestic championship. So it's going to come around pretty quick, but it should be good.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Look, at the moment, I'm more comfortable on my bike at home. So to see what we did this weekend and to know where I'm at, my fitness and everything, and getting a race under our belt was really important. So I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to racing, you know, the Lawrences and Webb, and just, you know, seeing where we stack up. Those guys are the best in the world, and for us to get to race them, it's really cool. So I'm excited. Melbourne's always awesome, big track, and yeah, this weekend will just help me to go into next weekend and do my thing, and yeah, we'll see where we stack up.
Mitchell Oldenburg, the double header here in Perth, it's complete. I feel like you started the weekend, you know, pretty quick from the outset, so kind of summarize it for us. How was it for you over the course of the 2 days?
A lot of highs and lows. It's just a lot of riding. Long travel, just a lot to deal with and to kind of learn, I guess. Saturday I felt good. A lot of riding for practice. We did 3 15-minute practices, which I feel like was too much. But same for everybody. No excuses. Felt good in practice. When I started up front, finished up front most of the time. Didn't start up front very much. Bummer way to end it. The super final, that last one, just ran off the track in the first turn. Actually had a really good start. I was right with Eli, and yeah, I ran off the track, ran over 3 tough blocks, and got a tough block thing wrapped in my front wheel. So it was a lap down and just finished the race. So it is what it is. A lot of highs, a lot of lows. Riding's good when I'm up front. When I'm not up front, it's not good. So we need to start up front.
Is that a depth thing, or the point that the races are just so short, everybody kind of sprints, so when they get that start, they kind of know it's their shot to trying to hang on? How do you feel about that, or should these races, or do you think it would be a lot different if they were longer, you know what I mean?
I think it'd be a little bit different if they were longer. I think what it boils down to is the gate you pick for your first main is your gate for the rest of the night, which we don't deal with back home. So you're kind of gambling. You don't really know how that gate's going to turn out over the night. That's what I felt like I struggled with the first night. I picked the gate where the first 250 main pulled the whole shot from, and I mean, every race, the berm in front of the start got higher and higher and higher, so I had to go over 2 berms basically for the rest of the night. So that was a bummer. Lined up a little bit further outside this time. Yeah, I think that's just the main thing. It's something that I'm not used to and need to figure out. No excuses, because it's the same for everybody, but it's just something that I feel like I need to execute better. It comes back on me, and I just didn't execute it really the first 3 races of the series.
We saw the announcement recently, your future for Beta in the US. How tricky is it? How difficult is it to kind of adapt from bike to bike? You do have experience, but how are you managing that?
Not too bad. I've kind of grown up doing that. Just like as an amateur, racing a 125, a 250, a 450 all on the same weekend. Shoot even a super mini to a 125 on the same weekend. So I feel like I know how to set the bike up how I want it. Kind of been going back and forth between the Beta and the Rick Ware bike. Spending a lot of time on the Rick Ware bike the last couple weeks, just getting ready for this series and wanting to get good results for them. Unfortunately, we've got some decent results, not good, but we're keep plugging away, finish out the series strong in Abu Dhabi, and get these Rick Ware guys some good points. And I really want to get on that podium. So I feel like Abu Dhabi, with it being a tight arena cross style track, it's anyone's game. So I go home tonight, be home, I don't know, 30 hours from now. And not much riding going on, but we're definitely going to be practicing starts this week if that's all we do.
Hey, thank you, appreciate it, and yeah, good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Vince Friese, Perth doubleheader, a big weekend of World Supercross, and yeah, in Western Australia this time. So, man, what can you take from a weekend like this with so many gate drops?
Yeah, it was tough. I woke up this morning hurting for sure. Somehow kind of got going, it was hot here. So first practice out there, I kind of got loosened up and actually felt all right by the end of the night. We've been training a lot, and I guess that kind of paid off. But definitely waking up this morning, I was like, man, this is gonna be a long day. It's tough. Two full nights of that, 4 main events each night, 3 practice sessions. It's a lot for sure.
Did you, what would you say was kind of the high point for you of the weekend? You know, you think back to any of the 8 races, and what was the moment that you sort of look back on and think that was a standout?
Yeah, the first night I had some good starts and put myself in a good position a few times, and just had some goofy stuff. I got wiped out in one, just an accident. Another guy wiped me out, and stalled the bike in another one when I was in second. But just the way I put myself in a good position, the way I was riding that first night, I was happy with that. Didn't turn out the way I wanted to. And tonight I was maybe a little more on the back foot, a little more timid, but didn't really make any mistakes. Had a bad gate pick. We had some issues in practice that I didn't get a good time in. So it's bad gate pick, and still salvaged a decent night. It's just not my kind of track, man. I've been in California riding just hard packed blue grooves, these rutted tracks, and it seems like they're every week now. I've been kind of having a hard time with them. Maybe I need to go find some softer dirt and practice on some ruddy stuff.
What was that start like? It was kind of weird because you could get into the first turn pretty well, but then if you weren't quite in the right position, it would sort of close out on you, on the exit. So what was that like? And as we saw, track position was just so important.
Yeah, I got blown off it at least once, if not twice. It was just hard to get stopped too. It was loose dirt right there. They were prepping it, and just no traction. We were coming in hot, and we all just were drifting wide. And it seemed like a few guys would be able to cut underneath and salvage a good start from maybe a bad jump. But I was kind of stuck out wide all night. I made it happen a few times, like I said, but it was tough start. Plans
between now and obviously Abu Dhabi. It's on a Wednesday, so kind of unique. Yeah. Not too far away. Yeah. A lot of guys have the WSX Open in between, but what's your plans?
Yeah, I mean, we only got 10 days between now and Abu Dhabi, so we're gonna make a pit stop at the beach and spend 7 or 8 of those 10 days and try to rest up from this, man. This is gonna be at least a few days before I'm recovered from a double header of 4 motos like that. So rest up and then get into Abu Dhabi a little early and hang out there, maybe play some golf in Abu Dhabi and get back to it. We actually got that race, and then that next morning we fly to Boise, Idaho for the second round of Arena Cross. So got a packed schedule right now.
How are you finding Arena Cross? Obviously early on in the game, but your kind of racing.
Yeah, I had a blast at that first one. The first night was awesome, man. The track was really good, and I won everything. And that was just like almost too good to be true. Coming in the first race, win it all. But I had a blast. Second night was a little tougher. Still won the main overall the second night, and I just won the heat race, stuff like that. But got a little taste of Arena Cross. I got more single file, some more bar banging, and it's my kind of racing. I'm kind of like, I'm amped up going to the gate every time, and I think those guys are too. They don't play around over there. My teammates tough and gnarly and ready to bang bars anytime, and pretty much that whole gate is there. So my kind of racing, I had a blast. I'm looking forward to more.
Hey, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle Webster, World Supercross in Perth, a pretty special weekend for you, but started so well. How was it overall? A lot of racing too.
Yeah, lots of racing, lots of riding. Obviously being here in Perth, friends, family and stuff was really cool, and it was good to see how many people showed up and supported this. It was, I think, one of the one of the best ones. So it was really cool. Not the best weekend of racing for me. Obviously, I haven't had a whole heap of bike time leading into this. I sort of was like going in with the just be here to have fun, and same as last weekend in Adelaide. But I think now that I've done a couple, the racing seems to be, I don't know, it seems to be getting a little bit under my skin that it isn't going so well. So no, I still had a really good weekend. Lots of fun, lots of positives, and actually did enjoy myself in the end.
How did you, when you were leading that first main, it seemed like you kind of settled into your pace and, you know, found another gear. You know, what was that like for you? And the crowd was going wild as well. Could you hear them?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Honestly, I probably tightened up a little bit. The first couple laps I felt really good, and I sort of knew that it was going to come, that I was going to start maybe getting a bit of arm pump and feeling a bit gassed, and it sure did. A couple of mistakes followed, but it was still such a cool feeling, and I could hear the crowd and everyone in the background supporting, and I guess it's those little moments that just make it even better.
You know what I think when I look at guys like yourself and obviously Jed Beaton too in Australian Supercross, you guys are kind of proving that what you're achieving outdoors is definitely able to be achieved in Supercross too. So not quite at that level obviously, but you guys look good out there, and you're pretty fresh still at this time of the year in terms of not many starts in Supercross. So how are you finding it? Are you exceeding expectations, about to be, you know, about where you thought you could have been, or?
I always say, like, I didn't have any expectations set for this weekend, or actually last weekend, but, you know, your races. So I was disappointed, I guess, with some of the races that I had. Some of them I was pretty happy with, but I think with, like, the limited bike time I've had and whatnot, and I mean, I've spent a couple of weeks riding with the boys at home and, like, the Beaton's crew and whatnot. I feel like I've definitely learned some stuff, and not being in that rush to get up to speed probably helped me a little bit, and I guess slowing down and just trying to settle into it. But I mean, 2 races in, and now I feel like I've got that bug where I want to be in the mix of it. So it's a little bit hard to juggle that, I think, and when I'm not really that Supercross fit, and I probably don't have the best timing when I'm trying to go faster. So I've got to try and be a little bit careful and maybe back it down a little bit.
Are you, I know initially the plan...
You know whose goggles these are?
Yeah.
The boys,
they got it done.
You want a bag right now? Or?
No, you're right.
Thank you.
I know the plan initially wasn't to ride Melbourne, but any discussion, any thought, we want to see you there.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I need to think about it. Like I said, I'm sort of getting to that point where I'm probably getting a little bit, I'm getting a little bit frustrated that I'm not up to speed, so I'm not too sure. I'll see how this week goes, see where I'm at, and yeah, I don't really know.
Can we at least go out for the fans and the Lawrence brothers and a bit of waving?
I mean, I'll definitely be there. So whatever if they've got anything organised with them, I'll definitely be into it. So it'd be cool there either way. I mean, it's a great event, so I'll definitely be there.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, cool weekend.
Thanks.
Hey, Cole Thompson. Big double-header weekend here in Perth. A lot of gate drops, a lot of racing in general. So how do you kind of look back on this weekend for you?
There's some positives to be taken. I felt like I did good. Qualifying, super cool, that was good. Racing side of it, lacking a bit here and there. And on a track that's pretty close in speed, a lot of guys doing similar lap times. If you're off by just a smidge, it definitely costs you. And that's kind of the end result was kind of poor, but we're healthy, and now we're going to build on this and be better for the next time it comes around.
That track position, we obviously know it's always important,
yeah.
But I felt like this weekend it was kind of even on another level just to get through that first turn cleanly.
Yeah, no, exactly. If you got through and you were maybe like first through third, you almost had 4 or 5 second buffer, because everybody in the back would kind of bunch up, and it was tough to be consistent on the starts. I felt like I had good starts, but then I would mess up the first corner, or maybe not get to the first corner where I needed to be. And yeah, like I say, we'll get better for the next one and try to finish on a high. We got one more race in Melbourne and then one more in Abu Dhabi, so we'll finish on a good note.
These formats in World Supercross, they're kind of unrelenting, just the 4 races per night, 8 over the course of the weekend, Super Pole on top of that too. Is it too much?
Just depends. To be honest with you, it's a packed schedule. I mean, I feel like we really, we've had two extremes. We had Canada, Vancouver, that was really rutted and challenging and had, you know, a lot of chaos. And then here with the sand and the, you know, looser dirt. I think if it was just a traditional supercross, like something you'd see in Melbourne or what we've kind of been racing in Australia, I don't feel like it'd be overwhelming. But when the track's kind of chaos, racing's chaos, and yeah, I think 4 races might be a bit much, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's putting on a show for the people, and that's what people want to see, more racing.
There was some tweaks to the schedule this weekend as well, so that kind of seemed like it. I know for us as media, and I think the fans as well, kind of absorb what's happening on track. You guys a little bit longer breaks in between. A couple of positives, they're learning.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think again, it's, you know, this is the 3rd year, and you can see that they're still adapting with us riders. I think it's all kind of in agreement when we did back-to-back days that we didn't need the extra practice section for the 2nd day, just because the track never changed. And even for myself, I think I only did 5 laps in the first practice and maybe 10 laps in the second, you know, just because I knew the track and I knew it wasn't going to get any faster when I did my time qualifying. And yeah, we got a good time in, qualified P1 and 2nd in Super Pole. So speed's there, it's just putting the rest of the package together. That's starts and racecraft. So like I say, I'm old, but I'm still learning, and I want to be better.
Hey, thank you. We'll see you in Melbourne.
Thank you. See you guys.
Hey, Joey Savatgy, Perth World Supercross in the books, and I think you may have won the best race of the weekend. That was cool.
Yeah, it was good, honestly. You know, leaving Vancouver, I was, I mean, obviously 3rd's good, but I was a little disappointed with just how far off of the guys in front I was. Those track conditions were pretty gnarly. I just wasn't comfortable. And then, you know, obviously I've been racing a lot with the other series that I'm doing. And so coming here, you know, yesterday was good. I felt like I was pretty good, but my starts weren't great. And then today, yeah, we just executed my starts better. I felt good. I was bummed on my Super Pole lap because I felt like I actually had a chance at it again. I crushed the whoops and I had a good first half of the lap going. But yeah, it was, I was behind my teammate, and it's always hard to pass a teammate, I'll be honest. But Dino was riding good. Yeah, it was obviously Eli's pretty badass on the dirt bike, as well as Ken. So you know, if someone was going to break the streak, I'm glad it could be me. And then yeah, the 3rd one was good. First one was really good. You know, I was able to latch on. I stayed. I think
you stayed right there.
Yeah, within 2 seconds the whole race, which was good. And then yeah, 2nd one was good. 3rd one was okay. And then the last one, to be honest, I just was gassed. Last weekend, Adelaide, you know, we had a 2-day event sitting in 30 degrees Celsius weather both days. A lot of short burst racing. And then we come here and we have 2 days sitting in 30 plus degrees Celsius, back-to-back days. It's a lot of stagnant air, and, you know, being closer to the ozone here, the sun hurts a lot more. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I knew beating Ken wasn't gonna benefit anything in the big picture. I mean, obviously points, but I knew I still had 2nd on the night as long as I finished behind him. And yeah, the start was good. Just, yeah, didn't have it in me for the last one. But yeah, all in all, I'm happy. We were much closer this weekend than we were at the first round. So I'm happy with that. Go back to work and get ready for Abu Dhabi.
Weekends like this, when you have that chance, like you said, to follow Eli right there, does a rider like yourself with your experience, do you still learn from being up close to, you know, Eli's been in good form, you know, in recent months. So do you take a lot from that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like the biggest thing that I learned is, well, a couple things, but one is, dude, he's just so good at the opening laps. Like those opening 2-3 laps, the dude, it's like he's being shot out of a rocket. You know, like I got to work on that, being able to send it a little bit more early on. But, you know, like he's really good at those little areas that add up. When the ruts are a little shallow, trying to trust the bike to fall into the rut. He's just so good at getting in and getting out. He doesn't miss the rut often with his rear tire. And just, dude, raw speed. The guy's one of the best in the world. So you're always learning. Even in that last one, I probably should have changed my lineup a little bit quicker. Started going outside after the finish line and just jumping the whoops instead of funneling into the long rut that was there. But like I said, mentally, I'm just tired. It's a lot of racing for me lately, and like I said, I'm happy with the improvement that we made from round 1 to now. So go back to work, try to be a little bit better, and see if we can't get another one before this thing's over.
Those tough block covers, after what happened in that Super Pole, did that kind of add to the caution in the races? Because they caused havoc tonight.
Yeah, honestly, it's a double-edged sword, because it's nice that they're not actual tough blocks, because if you make a little mistake, you're okay. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, when it's cardboard like that and you make a little mistake, the cover just gets ripped right off. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, if you stay between the tough blocks and you don't hit them, it's not an issue. But it's definitely, having that happen in the Super Bowl is always at the back of your mind. Because if that thing gets wrapped up in your wheel, it's more times than not, it's usually the end of the race. So you got to watch out for those.
Final question from me. Australian Championships obviously important to yourself and the team, and tonight we saw Dean Wilson, the defending champion, have some troubles. So it doesn't change a lot for you, but it's kind of takes away a little bit at this point. We don't know his status exactly, but I just want to get your thoughts on that, sort of heading into Melbourne, the finale,
for me, it's if I'm gonna win, I want to win straight up. It's one of those things that I never want to win by a technicality, and obviously, I've known Dean for a long time, and we both have a lot of respect for each other. So I never want to see, I consider him a friend. When we came around and he was laid out with a medic flag, it's definitely one of those things that you never want to see. The dude's a bad dude on a dirt bike, So it doesn't change anything. Like I said, I hope he's okay. But at the end of the day, whether he's there or not, my job's not done. Anything can happen, and I need to maintain the focus and go there and do my job. But like I said, I like Dean a lot. We're good friends. We live 0.3 of a mile from each other in Florida, so we hang out a decent amount. And Dean's my friend, so racing is important. But I also never want to see a friend injured. So, like I said, I hope he's okay. Obviously the Australian Championship's important. But But at the same time, so is this. Everything is. When we line up, we always want to win. Like I said, job's not finished. We still need to go execute, do our job next weekend in Melbourne, and we'll see what job's next and assess it and try to get it handled.
Hey, thanks, Joey. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Shane McElrath, the Perth doubleheader in the books, and another solid weekend for you.
Yeah, it was honestly a really, really tough weekend. Having the doubleheader, this WSX stuff is a lot of laps, a lot of racing, and today it was really hot. So yesterday went really well. I'm pretty happy with that, and today it was like I slept as much as I could, anyways, last night, and just kind of a quick turnaround. It was good that they canceled or got away with one of our free practices just to give us a little bit more time. The track was a lot drier today just with the heat and the wind. So I'm happy with today. I started out better, and I got a little bit too anxious on the GP3 start and also the super final. I wanted too much, and but overall, I'm happy with my riding. Really good points weekend, and I'm proud of this team. We've been really growing together, working together, and praise the Lord. I wanna keep doing my job, and I'm having a blast racing. So
you I feel like you've really just built and built and built since you joined this team. How do you compare it to? You obviously have a lot of experience and a lot of success during your career, but I don't know, something about yourself and Firepower Honda, and then obviously the Polyfloor team in Australia.
Yep.
It's clicked. It's gone well.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, dude, right when I got on the bike, I was blown away. I love the Honda 250. I really want to ride a Honda 450 and give that a try. Yeah, it's been a blast. It's a great group of guys. Matt and Bruce doing the suspension. Super impressed with them. They know exactly what they're doing. We've worked really well together, and both teams. It's the Firepower team in the U.S. and Polyfloor Froth Honda in Australia. A little bit different motor packages between the two teams, but overall just a great group. They work really well together, and yeah, I'm so proud to be a part of it. I love the Honda 250, and yeah, it's when everything is working together, like with the team, the bike. It makes it so much more enjoyable, and that's when I'm comfortable, I feel like I ride my best, and that's I think that's where we haven't really been making any changes now for the last 2 weeks, and that's a really good place to be in. So I'm excited.
The results in the GP races speak for themselves, but that super final, the being on the 250, I feel like the podium's not too far away if things click. You know, pretty close, top 5.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to get a podium. I believe I can. It's really hard to get a start against those guys, and that's the hardest part. Is tonight I started all the way inside, try to give myself like a little bit of room to try to force my way through the first corner, and I got too anxious on the start, and they were definitely holding the gate drops a little bit long tonight. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep trying, and I feel like I can do really well in the super final, and that's really what I want to do. So I got to keep the pressure on, though.
What were your thoughts on the final question? Thoughts on the kind of format tweak this weekend? It seemed better from our standpoint.
Yeah, honestly, I think it was good. Vancouver was really tough, and that track was really breaking down a lot. And so I think with alternating the mains each time and allowing the track crew to get the equipment on the track, I think that goes a long way for the whole, like the racing all night. And so I think it went pretty well today this weekend, in my opinion. Yeah, I felt like it definitely went a lot smoother, and I think it gave everybody a little bit more time to work more efficiently, and it makes everything work better. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Hey, yeah, thank you, well done, and we'll see you in Melbourne.
Sounds good, thank you.
Kayden Minear, it was a pretty special weekend for you. World Supercross, wild card, home state, here in Perth. So yeah, how was it?
I mean, it was such a cool weekend. I had a blast. The hometown crowd was awesome. The atmosphere I've never experienced something so cool. So such a great weekend. Good starts today. I was really happy with my riding all weekend, and I can't wait to Melbourne.
Do you feel like you took much out of the weekend? Did you learn much? And you know, the field, I feel like there's a lot of depth. There's a lot of battling there in that kind of top 10.
Yeah, definitely. There's so much experience in my group. The starts was the key to today. My aggression was really good, which I'm really happy with. And I think Melbourne, we're going to be taking big steps forward.
What about when you think about World Supercross, there's just so many gate drops, so many races to do. You made the super final as well. So when you look back over the course of the 2 nights, what was the high point for you? Some solid starts there.
Yeah, definitely. The high point was definitely making the super finals. That was awesome. The back-to-back gate drops is so cool. I like just getting the ball running and going with it, so it was such a cool night.
What about Melbourne next? You know, the biggest race on the schedule for the Australian Championship anyway, so excitement going into there and a pretty quick turnaround as well. And I think what's important about that, it kind of gives you the opportunity to kind of build that momentum.
Yeah, definitely. I'm taking so much confidence into Melbourne. We took such big steps forward today and this weekend, so I'm really excited to get behind the gates again next weekend and yeah, get into it.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.